Int. Going live now at twitch.tv/Tailosive to witness the potential launch and landing of Starship SN15. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me pull up the stream here so y'all can see it. Oh, wow. We got 3.5 minutes to go. Wrong one, sorry. 3.5 minutes. We'll put this over here so we can see it all right. Welcome, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen. This could be it. It's a cloudy day. They're planning to launch this thing on a pretty cloudy day. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see it, but hopefully it's clear enough down low so that we can actually see the landing take place. That would be nice. I'm going to make sure I get the chat up here. Welcome to those joining in. This could get scrubbed. Keep that in mind. It's possible. SpaceX appears to be promoting the stream, which is a good sign. This is the 4th attempt at a high-altitude flight and landing. Tailosive Space is live. Good, good. I'm going to retweet this on tech because I want to get some people in here witnessing history potentially being made. All right. Let's have at it. Got 90,000 people watching already. Jeez. It's amazing how little dislikes this YouTube stream is already getting, to be honest with you. Whew, I'm excited. I'm glad I was actually home for this one. Ooh, they got some good angles here. It's a gray day in SpaceX, but let's hope it's also a great day. The countdown, in case you were curious, is right there. We got 1 minute, 45 seconds. Weather permitting, this will launch. We already got SN16 built, right? So they want to get this over with. Let's light up this puppy. Whether or not it sticks the landing, who cares? Let's just get it off the launch pad so we can get SN16 ready right around the corner. Whew. They must be nervous because I'm nervous and I don't even put much. Ooh, Elon just sent the tweet out. He said about to launch. Here we go. This is it. I'm going to make sure I can hear it too. There's not too much to hear. I believe I can.
T-1 minute. All systems remain go for the flight of.
What does that do?
Disconnect the quick disconnect from the vehicle in preparation for flight.
What did that do? Audio. I think you guys can hear the stream now as well. Wow, here it comes. 30 seconds. Right around the corner. I think you guys can hear the stream now as well. Yeah, I think you can. 20 seconds. Oh, man. Oh, it's happening. It's flying. I can see the Twitter preview. Holy crap. Why is Twitter ahead of YouTube? Oh, holy crap. I'm going to refresh this. Just to make sure it's... Oh, there it goes. Oh, crap. I don't want to look at the Twitter preview because Twitter's ahead for me. Whoa! Seagull, get out of the way! I bet that seagull is so scared. Holy crap. And I'm also streaming this to you guys via Starlink. Wow, look, they got a side cam angle right there. That's awesome. Flying into the clouds. I'm not sure how good visibility is going to be today, but I'm live streaming this broadcast via Starlink.
30 seconds. Starship 15 is airborne.
Ooh, there's the engines.
View of the 3 Raptor engines.
How are they looking?
Powering our way to 10 kilometers altitude in today's test flight.
Wow. I hope they're okay. I don't see any fires on the Raptor engines yet. I'll keep looking for them. That's been a problem in the past. Whoa. Did they make the clouds all yellow? Oh, that's the flame. That's the orange of the flame. Rocket go brrr. Yeah. Oh, we're into it. Okay, it's airborne. It's finally happening. You can see the heat shield tiles there. Not really going to get used much on this one, but...
Just past 1 minute into flight. We're through 2 kilometers altitude. All 3 Raptor engines continuing to burn. Next
looking
major
good.
event, about 1 minute, is we will turn off the first of the 3 Raptor engines.
SN15 is the first Starship to actually have a little dishy McFlat-faced Starship terminal built onto it. So I'm watching this via Starlink and live streaming to you via Starlink, and Starship might actually be broadcasting their images through a Starlink terminal simultaneously, which is pretty amazing. Raptor engines are looking good so far. I can see the timer still counting, but the live stream itself freezing up a bit, so they might be running into some connection issues with this angle. They should cut to a different one. Yeah, you can see I'm not lagging, but
Coming up at T
SpaceX.
plus 2 minutes, we appear to have frozen the view from the engine cameras.
Yeah.
However, the Raptor engine's continuing to perform, and we've got shutdown on engine 3 on time.
Okay, engine 3 shut down intentionally. That's the purpose during this test. They got to slow down the engines slowly. Timer's still going. Man, I wish they could... Is there any other angle they could cut to? Oh, here's one. They're getting just a little bit of a frozen... I guess they're getting a frozen image. It's probably too far away. They can barely hold a connection. Oh, there it goes.
T plus 2 minutes, 40 seconds. While we're trying to regain video from the vehicle, we continue to ascend. We have just passed the 8-kilometer point in flight. Everything continues to look good on Starship 15.
All right. Well, I can't see it much, but they claim everything's going okay. I hope that the ground cameras are good for the landing burn, because that's really the crucial part. Okay, there. Well, it unfroze for a second. 3 minutes in. Come on, SpaceX, you can do it. I have faith. This has got to be it. SN15. There's a lot of changes with this new batch. This is like a new batch of Starships. It's different from SN8 through 11. They applied a lot new technologies to
Coming up on
SN15.
3.5 minutes into flight, we're approaching the 10-kilometer altitude.
Almost
Begin
to
to
max.
hover here. We've had engine number 2 shut down on time. We'll now be moving into the hover with 1 engine. And then in a little bit, we will begin the flip over to
Darn.
horizontal position and begin our descent, where hopefully a ground camera will be able to bring us live views of the flight.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Ground camera. Because the Starship cameras themselves, it's actually a really good angle that they're able to get. Oh, okay, it's back. All right, Raptors look okay. We had it back for a second. Oh,
Just
come on.
past T plus 4 minutes into flight.
We're going into the belly flop
Got the
maneuver.
views back from the Raptor engines.
Here we go. Okay. They're still having some stream connectivity. Okay, it's back for a second there. I don't see many fires on the engines, which is good. That's a good sign. All right, we're coming into free fall now.
T plus 4 minutes, 34 seconds. While we're working to regain
Why do they have a
video,
code up?
Looks like we've got a shot looking back at the flaps. on
Whoa, they put a
Starship.
camera on the
We're in the
flaps?
horizontal descent phase now.
That's
We're
cool.
passing 6 kilometers.
I was gonna say, why is it moving so
A
much?
reminder, phase that's coming up as we get ready for landing.
Wow.
We will light 3 Raptor engines, flip the vehicle from horizontal to vertical.
Gonna
If
flip.
things look good, we will shut down 1 Raptor engine
hope
and then
that's not
possibly
the
a second
YouTube
one and
password
land
or
on a
something.
single engine in the landing zone.
I hope that's
5
not
minutes into flight.
private
Raptor
piece of
continuing
information.
To descend. We're coming up on 3 kilometers
Whoa.
altitude.
Oh, it's falling fast. You can tell. Okay, here comes landing burn time. Come on, SpaceX. You could do it. You could do it. Ooh, it's falling fast. You can tell. It's coming through the clouds. Ooh, it's picking up speed. The Wi-Fi password leaked to Starship, yeah. Come on, SpaceX. You got this. You got this. Ooh. Someone's extension cord. Oh. Got relight. Uh-oh.
We have ignition.
Looks like the third one didn't light up.
Starship heading back to the landing zone.
Ooh. Is it gonna stick the landing? Oh, it's got 2 engines going. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, what happened? The camera's rolling. I can see engines. I see engines. Hey, it's on the legs. Yes, it's on the legs. They actually got out this time. SN10 didn't get the leg deployments out. It like crushed them. Uh-oh, I see a fire. Oh, crap. It's a little bit off to the side on the landing pad.
Starbase flight control has confirmed, as you can see on the live video,
Wow.
we are down. The Starship has landed.
There's a fire. I hope we got a
Going
hose
through
nearby.
The safing sequence in the flight computer right now. We'll
Stuck
be
the
back in
landing.
a moment.
Are we going to have another SN10 story where it sticks the landing and then blows up? I hope not. I do see a flame. I wonder what's on fire. Oh, I don't think that fire's getting any better. It looks like it's growing. Uh-oh. Okay, we got some more ground footage here. We can see a little bit of that flame. Flaps folded inward. I'm glad it stuck the landing, though, that we've got SN10 vibes going right now. Yeah. Oh, man. Now we got to watch it and really pay attention and see if it explodes. Oh, man. Whew. It's detanking fast.
Well, if you've just joined us, you missed a great flight. Right now, we have successfully landed in the landing zone.
I'm worried
right
about
on the
that
concrete.
fire.
You can see we do have a small fire at the base of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Not unusual with the methane fuel that we're carrying as we continue to work on the test vehicle design.
They're saying not
You
unusual.
may be able to see water going on the pad from the water cannons.
They have a water cannon there.
But again, Starship 15 powered by 3 Raptor engines.
Come on.
We
Put the
have
fire out.
successfully launched it from our facility in South Texas. Landed
Oh, it's
after
doing
a
its
routine
best.
flight where we shut engines down on the way to 10 kilometers.
Oh, it's on the wrong
executed
angle.
the horizontal unpowered descent.
That
And then we got some great views of the engines lighting up as we
Oh,
came
man.
down for a landing at a nice slow
That water
velocity
cannon
onto the concrete landing
is
pad.
doing its best, but oh
The
man.
past 2 weeks have been full of accomplishments
so
by
happy
the
it stuck the
SpaceX
landing
team.
at least.
We've had the incredible launch of the Crew 2 astronauts on the Crew Dragon Resilience.
Come on.
We've had the first nighttime landing and recovery of the 4 astronauts on Crew Dragon Endeavour's flight last Saturday
Oh.
night, and 2 successful flights of Falcon 9 in the past 7 days,
He's filling
each
us in
carrying
on their
60
history.
Starlink
That
satellites
fire's
successfully
growing.
into
I don't like
orbit.
that fire.
And now the SpaceX Texas team has flown a test flight of Starship with a landing back in the landing zone here in Starbase, Texas.
Well, it's nice to know
Also
they've
like
got
to
the
remember,
landing.
this is the 60th anniversary of the first American
Hose
in
went out.
space, astronaut Alan Shepard and his Mercury
They
capsule.
shut off the water
And
cannon.
SpaceX has landed Starship successfully on this date. Again, an outstanding period as we work to enable the
Successfully.
future of human spaceflight and expansion into
Wow.
the solar system. And with that, we're going to
Oh, there's a
conclude
second
today's
sprinkler?
webcast with the views here of Starship 15.
Ooh.
Thank you for
Don't
joining
conclude
us
yet.
here at SpaceX, and have a good
SpaceX.
day.
They're trying to wrap up the stream as quickly as they can. No. We're cutting to NASA space flight.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna leave them muted. Check out NASA space flight. They make awesome stuff. I think they have a water hose on one side, a water cannon. I still see the fire. They don't have quite a good angle on it here. A little bit more on this side. So this is vehicle safing. Yeah, this is the new section they had to add because we've now discovered that landing is not enough anymore. Now it's land and don't blow up. So if I remember correctly, when SN10 landed, it was about 10 minutes or 15 minutes after the landing that the vehicle exploded. And there's still a chance of that happening now. So I'm going to keep the live stream going for a little bit because this is worrying me. But I'm very happy that the legs deployed. That this shows noticeable improvement, right? That's the whole purpose and intention of having rapid updated starships, is that each one gets better than the last one. For the most part, we don't always get better results. Sometimes there's edge cases like SN11 where it just blows up in the clouds. But this one, while the connection was a bit bumpy, it appears to have relight the Raptors on time. And it stuck the landing not on its tail skirt like SN10 did, but it also got the legs out. So it had slowed down enough to levitate itself off the ground when it stuck the landing. So now it's just a matter of, can they get that fire out? There's probably a methane leak. SpaceX claims that's not unusual. But yeah, there very well could be a Rudd any minute here. So we'll see shortly, I guess. SN12 be like, protect me, Cone. Yeah. Oh wow. Well, I'm this is good news for the next batch of starships because I believe SN15, 16, and 17 were all built with similar. Oh, maybe they are getting that fire out. Did they get the fire out? I don't see it anymore. There's a little puff of flame left. Man, it's so cool to know that thing went up to 10 kilometers and came all the way back down. From this angle, the fire isn't raging as hot. This is the positive, optimistic view angle from NASA spaceflight. Let's see if it can not explode longer than SN10. That's the next challenge. But I could understand why SpaceX was very quick to shut the live stream off as quickly as possible. They were like, okay, hey, we landed with successful mission. Thanks for watching. Bye. And then shut off the stream because they don't like showing everyone. People are saying, some people in the chat are saying fire is out. I see a lot of people saying no boom. Fire is out. That would be great if it was. I hope there's not some secret spark behind the scenes that I'm missing. But from what I can see, I do not see a fire. Unless there's some other angle I'm not catching right now. Oh, this could be huge. This could be a massive development for Starship if this ends up sticking the landing and not exploding. That's that's progress if there ever was one. Especially knowing that they applied a lot of different manufacturing techniques with SN15 that will apply to 16 as well. I don't see the fire. This is good. This is really good. Okay, I'm trying not to get too excited here. I'm trying not to get too hyped, but I think they got the fire out. I think they actually stuck the landing and it won't blow up this time. That would be fantastic if that's the case. Did we just have our first successful Starship flight test? I'm saying all these things so it'll be more ironic if it actually does explode. If I hype it up a lot and then it blows up, this will be hilarious. People say the fire hose is off. That's good. Now what happens? Imagine how nerve-wracking it must be for the SpaceX employees. They've never had to go up to a Starship after it's landed before. Pretty much all of these flight tests have been take off, come back down, and then they explode, right? Or they explode in a million pieces, or in the case of SN10, they land, and 10 seconds later they explode. Yeah, the fire hose went off right before SN10 exploded, if I remember correctly. So there's still a chance of it detonating. There's also a chance, keep in mind, of SpaceX deciding to blow this thing anyway with the flight termination system, just because they figure, there are still explosives on this thing. There's probably still some leftover fuel on SN15, and there's still, a pack of explosives on the side in case of the flight termination system. And now they have whole new procedures they have to train for. Now they all got to go out there and disarm this thing, which has never happened before. They've never been able to clean up a Starship in one piece before. So this is a big day, potentially. I don't know how long I want to watch it, though. How long do you guys think we should watch before we can decide, okay, it's not going to blow up? If they can vent all the harmful gas and feel that they can recover the vehicle, the data is worth it. Oh, yeah. Well, even if they crash, the data is worth it because they can get a lot of data from mission control. They don't have to just recover the vehicle. But, yeah, I don't see the flames. Oh, this is so great. After all these months of development, it's so encouraging to finally see a landing that doesn't end in horrible fire. But that's whole part of the process. This proves that the rapidly iterative upgrading of Starship and making up a bunch of them over and over again, that's how you make a more successful rocket. So keep in mind, it's also important to remember that the first time Falcon 9 stuck the landing, wow, that's a lot of detanking. Look at all this ventilation going on right now. Jeez. I hope it's okay. They're like, get all the fuel out as quick as possible. Get it out. Up close structural response from flight hasn't been observed yet since each explodes. That's true. They haven't been able to go in depth on what has been most damaged yet because, yeah, every vehicle has detonated. But keep in mind, first time they had a Falcon rocket land, it wasn't like they were perfect and only had flawless landings from then on out. I see some lag here from Starlink. Sorry, Starlink is still during beta. Just give it a second. It'll smooth itself out. But there will probably be a few more Starship tests that end in a crash. That's likely. And there's still probably going to be some new design techniques that they employ. I'm so happy, though, that it appears to be successful so far. They seem to have gotten the fire out and the landing legs deployed, unlike SN10. And I got to watch this one live, unlike SN10. I was away running errands at that point. But I'm so glad that they ignored all the cloudy weather. They were like, who cares if it's kind of cloudy? We can still launch. We can still land this thing. Mike is saying bolt shearing, buckling, connection failures, etc. are very valuable. It's venting like a steam vent, though. Yeah, it's good vent. This is what you want to happen. So I'm very happy that it actually stuck the landing, of course. That's a big moment for SpaceX that'll go down in the history books for sure, and gets them one step closer to that orbital launch, which should be SN20. And I believe that they're not making 5 prototypes before that. There's similar to how we never got SN12, 13, or 14. I believe they're skipping 18 and 19. I could be wrong. I'm sure some clouds were no issue to them. Yeah, but I was going to say SN11 isn't a great example because that one exploded when we didn't even we couldn't even see it. It just came down in a million pieces. This one thankfully came down in one piece. This bodes very well for the HLS NASA contract. You're very correct. Now seeing that in May of 2021, SpaceX has had a successful launch and landing tests of Starship going up to 10 kilometers, reaching terminal velocity. That's wonderful. So, wow. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. I was really starting to doubt it with all the scrubs and all the postpones we were having with Starship. I was really starting to think, this isn't going to happen. It's probably not going to happen today. They're probably going to scrub it at the last minute, and they did it. It actually happened. So, really happy for them, and I appreciate NASA Spaceflight for showing this stuff and covering it. Be sure to check them out. For more live content. They cover pretty much everything. They got cameras everywhere, but it looks good. Yeah, it doesn't seem too damaged. It seems like the landing legs deployed all right, and they stuck the landing. They got that fire out with the fire hose, which is wonderful. And now we're basically just hoping it doesn't explode. That's the main goal right now. Please keep your seatbelts fastened as we are currently putting out a fire at the lower portion of the vehicle. Please be patient. Yeah. I mean, there are, I don't know about that equivalence of danger, but there are that kind of situations on airliners where it's like, you guys see that news story where one airliner was like, by the way, our engine fell off, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. HLS Starship won't even do a flip maneuver when landing on the moon. No atmosphere, so the fact that they could do this looks great for them compared to the national team and Dynetics. I agree. No matter who you're comparing them to, no rocket company on Earth has been able to make a second stage fly up like that and come right back down. And knowing that they plan on a vehicle this size, like, Blue Origin does their New Glenn or New Shepard, I forget the name, but the one that just goes straight up and down. They do that, but it's much smaller payload capacity. The fact that there's a rocket with like the volume capacity of like a 747 going up that high and doing the flip maneuver, and that's never happened. And now they've done it. They've stuck the landing. That is fantastic. Just knowing how limited our time was with SN10, it makes me want to just stare at SN15 all day. Just be like, wow, it did it. It stuck the landing. It actually took place. That's fantastic. Every few years you see a news story, you see something like plane lands with front landing gear unable to deploy. Yep, that's true. It does happen from time to time. But, of course, I'm sure with more human human ready starships, they probably want to make sure that they can get the fires out, because that doesn't look good. And of course, you have a lot of very expensive, very flammable fuel on board. They probably have some excess fuel in there, so you definitely want to make sure there's not a bunch of flames around the bottom. I'm glad they put it out though. I'll be very interesting to see if SN16 also can stick the landing and get the fire out, or maybe even better, not have a fire when you stick the landing. I'm not sure, but you do you, SN15. I like my cage, yeah. SN12 sticking with the cage method. Wow, I'm so happy for SpaceX. I imagine the engineers must be going ecstatic right now, and a bunch of people are probably panicking, like, "Oh crap, what do we do? Do we have to get a crane out there now?" Like, that's a good question. I'd love to ask the chat. What do you guys think SpaceX is going to do with SN15? Assuming it doesn't explode at any time in the next few minutes, that's also still possible. But do you guys think SN15 is going to basically go in some museum somewhere and sit around, or do you think that they're going to try to light this thing up again and push it to its limits? I've seen, I was listening to NASA Spaceflight. They were suggesting that a while back. They were suggesting that SpaceX maybe get some data off of SN15, see some of the failure points, see some of the weak points now that they actually have a functioning model that stuck the landing. Check the wear and tear and everything. Okay, I don't need to see your merch. That's okay. Do we have Lab Padre as well? Lab Padre is another great live broadcast channel I'd recommend watching. Yeah, they got the checkpoints down. They stuck the landing. So there's a chance I've seen of people just like studying as much as they can from SN15 and then refueling it and intentionally flying it to its limits to find out exactly what breaks and find out what its weak points are and apply that to future production. Possibly blow it up. Many dinosaurs filling me in. He says, first they detank, then they will get ground crew to secure it so it doesn't get knocked over by wind. I assume they'll just have it around like Starhopper. I doubt they'll light it again. I kind of doubt that too, if you were asking me personally. I'm guessing that they have to get so many things in place between flight termination systems and flight restrictions whenever they do a launch. They're not going to waste all that paperwork and all that time on a rocket that they've already launched that doesn't have any new hardware. They would much rather just get SN16 out there with upgrades and updated hardware and have that take off and land and collect more data off of that than they would relaunch SN15. Kind of like how SN5 and SN6, I don't believe were reflown after they flew, but they did land. Many dinosaurs saying they might possibly do another static fire. Yeah, they could. Maybe just see how the Raptor engines age. Because most of the time, whenever they test these Raptor engines, they only light them up for like 1 second or 1 to 2 seconds. They're not on for very long. Whereas these three Raptor engines that were on SN15, they were on for a solid, 4 minutes, I guess, 3.5 minutes or so, depending on which Raptor engine you're referring to. So seeing how the Raptor engines are doing after 2 static fires, because SN15 did 2 static fires, and then like a 4-minute launch and then shut off again, that would probably be pretty valuable data. So I'm very happy that the ship has not exploded yet. I'm still watching it. It'll be very interesting to see people go out and inspect it after this too. Everyone in the chat is like, take off again, fly it up, do it again, refuel it real quick. Wow. They're sticking a lot. At their McGregor test facility, they light them for much longer before they are shipped to Boca Chica. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. But now they're installed together. They're not just in one place. They're going up in altitude. They're flipping around. They're going in all different directions. It's probably safe to say it's a tad different than the McGregor test facility, having them built into the rocket itself. So there's probably some added data they can get from this, but yeah, what a good day. It's so satisfying to see it actually sit there. They can see all how the motors are doing and everything. Oh, that's so cool. I do hope that they can get a more stable connection on the broadcast. I'm guessing that has something to do with the clouds and the weather not being very good, because that seemed to be a lag issue with SN11 as well, with the live stream not being very stable. But for SN8 through 10, the connection was very stable all the way through, but that was a much more sunny day. This makes the orbital launch seem much closer. SN11 felt like a huge setback, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a Starship in orbit by late August. That would surprise me. I know they're shooting for July 1st internally, but I don't think they're going to get there simply because they haven't even gotten the Super Heavy booster to do a hop yet, and that's probably going to take quite some time to test and experiment with. I don't think they're going to hit July. That's very much Elon time. But by the end of the year, yeah, I don't know about late August. That would be pretty ambitious in my opinion. I hope it's sooner. Obviously, I want it to be as soon as possible, but I would agree with what NASA Spaceflight was saying, that orbital launch of SN20. There's just a lot of development that has to go on with the Super Heavy booster. I don't think getting the second stage of Starship up into orbit is really the challenge. It's mainly going to be experimenting and testing out the Super Heavy booster. What are they going to do with that? Have they said, are they still planning on catching that with the orbital launch tower by like July? Is that their thought process? Do I think it'll fall over? I don't think so. It seems to have landed okay on its legs. It doesn't look crooked to me. Yeah, they still have to build the launch tower, and they still have to practice with Super Heavy booster going up to extremely high altitude, detaching, coming all the way back, and being caught, which has never been attempted before. So there's a lot of room for error on that one. This thing would be intimidating to stand near. Yeah, I feel somewhat nervous for the crew that probably has to go out there and check on it. That's going to be a little nerve-wracking. You got this big prototype that went up to 10 kilometers and back, and now it's still got explosives on it, and hopefully they can do their best to deactivate it and make sure it's all safe. But yeah, I would be nervous if I were them, that's for sure. So glad the second batch, second trilogy of Starships is going to start off on a good note, knowing that the first one basically did a perfect, successful launch, essentially. It pretty much achieved all milestones they were aiming for. So, well done. I think early versions of Super Heavy will have landing legs because the level of precision needed to catch is insane. So early versions will likely have pretty beefy legs, and as they home in the landing procedure, they will start to catch them. That's what I was thinking too. Just because, you know, I have to imagine, I know it's like a completely different type of fuel and a different type of rocket, and it's a different type of engine, but they've done a lot of first stage landings with Falcon 9, right? So having the fins on top that kind of steer its way in and landing on a drone ship, they have experience with first stage landings, which is why, to me, it makes perfect sense for them to prioritize figuring out how to do second stage landings, because that is uncharted territory that they haven't really experimented with before. But in the meantime, yeah, if you're just trying to get a prototype like SN20 up into orbit, let's just get some legs on the Super Heavy and it can come back and land pretty similar to a Falcon 9. But I get it. You know, the Raptor engines are very different build design, and it's a much, much, much larger rocket than the Falcon 9. So I get it. It's a completely different beast. I'm not saying it's everything translates over, but probably a bit of the aerodynamics and some of the procedure carries over. At least the fire suspension system is getting its rounds of practice. Yeah, I'm glad they have some water cannons out there to hose them down. That's very smart. Hopefully SN16 doesn't even need that, but encouraging to know that it has not blown up. Mike is probably bummed out because he likes the explosions. 0 out of 10. No big boom. Why was there no big boom? Come on. What's the deal? Wow. Those birds must be so confused as they're flying around. They're like, what the heck just happened? All the birds really... 3 out of 10. Okay, fire. No big explosion. Okay, Mike gives this launch a 3 out of 10. Fair enough. Everyone in the chat is saying, Jeff who? That meme is never going to let itself down. It's kind of annoying that Blue Origin is protesting the NASA decision to go with SpaceX. SN17 and SN20 are under construction. Okay, I believe that was correct on that. They're skipping 18 and 19. SN15, oh, they just updated the little chart here. What did they say? SN15 completes its 10-kilometer flight with a successful landing after a 6-minute flight. That's kind of redundant. Small fire erupted after landing, but did not cause another RUD. Number 2 and number 3 segments of OLIT being built at Sanchez. There you go. Let's see. Also, they have to get both stages landing before they can go to orbit, because unless it's just a test flight, the available inclinations from the Texas launch site that go over water are very limited because of the size of the Gulf of Mexico. So they have to make it fully reusable if they want any useful launches from Starbase. Well, yeah, it's if they want successful launches, and also that's the end goal, is to make it completely reusable on top of that. So I'm sure there's going to be probably a handful of 150-meter hops with super heavy booster before they do the orbital launch. So the idea of there being a couple super heavy hops before June 1st, I don't see happening, but it'd be cool if they did. I'm anticipating kind of late Q3, maybe Q4 for the orbital launch, probably, somewhere between September and October, somewhere in there. 15 out of 50 to fit the flight number. Thank you, Mike. 15 out of 50. That's much better. That solved everybody's OCD. Whew. That's wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for watching. I apologize if it explodes right after this. But anywho, you guys, thank you for tuning in. And I'll keep my eye on SN15. I'll be very sad if it explodes, but hey, the fact that it hasn't exploded as quickly as SN10 did is already an improvement. It's already much further ahead than SN10 was. Here's on for SN16. Let's hope SN15 doesn't get crushed. Let's keep it in a museum and preserve this historical prototype. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.